Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, tuning into lives, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. I really appreciate each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your wonderful support, man. I'm just having a ball. I'm having so much fun, and I always take time out to say that in the beginning of my videos and the beginning of my live sessions, you know what I mean? Because I really do appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. You know, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers. If there are any new listeners right now, Renee Box Young is simply a platform where we discuss, critique, and analyze the sport of boxing in an open, level-headed fashion. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. We take the hate, you know, somewhere else. Y'all take it somewhere else, you know what I mean? There's no room for that here. So that's what it's about here at Renee Box Young. We're doing new things here when it comes to, you know, the sport of boxing and boxing talk, definitely. And you don't have to worry about vulgar language also. Isn't that great? Isn't that a plus? You know what I'm saying? Here on this platform, you ain't got to worry about, you know, me going back and forth with other platforms, you know, just spreading hate, you know, cursing people out. Don't even have to worry about that here. So, you know, don't worry about it. Your kids can listen and tune in and grow concerning, you know, learn about the sport of boxing. If you want to pass it out, you know, it's the amazing thing about the sport of boxing. It's so rich in history. There are parents who have passed down this wonderful, you know, sport from generation to generation. You know, on this platform, you don't have to worry about your kids, you know, listening to vulgar things. It's open to everybody. So, however, I do have that option, or whatever you want to call it, setting when it comes to this platform concerning, you know, it's for adults, just for the fact that in previous sessions, which is fine, I have had wonderful guests, you know what I'm saying, just in case, you know, there was some vulgar language in the past here, which is not really, it's really minimal, to be honest with you, but that's why I have my channel as a setting, or whatever you want to call it, has that setting that it's, you know, it's primarily it's for, you know, adults, just in case there's a guest or what have you who does, you know, say some things here and there, but generally speaking, for the most part, just go ahead and check my channel out. For a while, I haven't had any of that. So, you know, don't, as far as with me, you know what I'm saying, Renee, you know, me, when you hear my videos or my lives, for the most part, I don't say anything. I don't, you know, from my mouth, I don't have any vulgar language. You don't gotta worry about that, you know what I'm saying? So with these videos and things of that nature, you don't have to worry about that. So definitely, man. So I want to talk about, you know, Mckaskill versus Braekhus rematch, okay? And recent statements they have said on the lead up to this fight, okay? And there are certain ramifications, and it may go out to how I'm gonna explain it. This is why I wanna make this video. It's kind of a breakdown, but at the same time, it's what they're saying. And this intertwines also with El Gallo Estrada versus Chocolatito rematch. Beautiful card. If I'm not mistaken, Chocolatito and Estrada, they're gonna be the rematch. They're gonna be the main card. I'm sorry, the main event. The main event. I'll get, you know, mixed up with words here. The main event, and Braekhus versus Mckaskill is gonna be also on the card. So beautiful card, man. It's gonna be a wonderful night of boxing, okay? And it relates to them too. So let's get right to it, man. Link in the description of the article that we're gonna see. You already know, boxingscene.com. You check it out, okay? So it says here, you know, you scroll down here, it says Cecilia Braekhus says, "I know I'm a better fighter than Jessica Mckaskill." Interesting stuff. Let's check out what they're saying. They're kind of going back and forth, you know, in the lead up to the fight and interviews or what have you. Okay, Mckaskill says here, you know, the undisputed. Oh, let me make that clear also. You know, it's worth saying also. Okay, it's worth saying in this fight. Okay, that, you know, they're fighting for the undisputed welterweight champion. Okay, Mckaskill, she won, you know, Braekhus in the first fight, and she is now undisputed welterweight champion in pro boxing, women's boxing. So, you know, hats off to Mckaskill, man. Amazing fighter. You know, she's just rugged and rough and has a lot of heart. Same with Braekhus, but you know, Mckaskill got it. So they're gonna rematch and fight for those titles, you know what I'm saying? So let's get back to it. That's why you see all that ABC belt stuff there. So it says here, Mckaskill made some pretty harsh statements in a virtual talk mediated by Eddie Hearn. Okay, it says here, one of the strongest phrases Mckaskill stated was, once someone shows that weakness, show they are not in it, and alludes to retirement, that shows that they are mentally out of the game. So well, you know, we gotta understand. I mean, according to Boxing Scene, that's a strong phrase. Wow, that's so strong. Oh my gosh, that's so harsh. Okay, because it's a pretty harsh statement. According to BoxingScene.com, you know, or whatever, right? Whoever, you know, the reporter of this article, the journalist, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? It says here, you know, one of the strongest phrases. whatever. Okay, it's fine. But you know, Mckaskill did say, you know, once someone shows that weakness, shows they are not in it, and alludes to retirement, that shows they are mentally out of the game. So that's important. That's very interesting, and I wanted to focus on what she's saying there as far as Mckaskill's side, okay? That why is she saying that, you know, alludes to retirement? It's because we got to remember, if you go back to the first fight, in the post-fight interview, you know, there's still sweat in there, you know, breathing hard and stuff like that. They went to obviously they went to both fighters, you know, to talk whatever. And Cecilia Braekhus she talked about she did allude to retiring. She did. If you go back to that, okay, that interview or whatever, Braekhus did refer to retiring because she was kind of talking along the lines that she didn't know what to do. And I understand her why she was saying that. I mean, I'm sure she had a lot of emotions going through, a lot of thoughts, because she's been, I mean, undisputed champion for a long time, and she's been on top for a long time. If I remember correctly, she was undefeated up to the point to when she fought Mckaskill. She was undefeated. I mean, she just has one loss, if I'm not mistaken. So I understand her speaking like that at that time, you know. And Mckaskill's talking about, you know, that's weakness. And I agree to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? Mckaskill saying that shows they are mentally out of the game. You know, she has a good point in that. And I want to bring this out because that can be a factor. That can be a factor to Cecilia Braekhus right now. Who knows if she's going to go in 100 in this fight, in this rematch? You know what I'm saying? That can definitely be a factor, you know. Braekhus has had a wonderful career in the sport of pro women's boxing. Wonderful career. She can retire. If she even loses again in this rematch, she can retire with her head held high. You know, nothing to take away from Cecilia. Amazing accomplishments. Just go back and check her record out. Her resume and her fights. She fights wonderfully. She's a really skilled fighter. I mean, I got nothing to take away from her. But it's true what Mckaskill's saying. It can be that, you know, Braekhus is not 100 as she was before, mentally speaking, you know what I'm saying? Or on the contrary, this loss can serve as a motivator for Braekhus. Kind of like reminds me of Anthony Joshua. You know, when he got smashed by Andy Ruiz in the first fight, his first loss, he was also undefeated, if I remember correctly. You know, Andy Ruiz got those titles, you know, but that loss served for Anthony Joshua to come back more focused and even more skilled, debatably. Because when he came back and fought Andy Ruiz, he boxed well. I'm not okay. Like I said, I'm not going to be sitting here and saying that, you know, oh, Anthony Joshua was running the whole fight and he was boxing. You know, his defensive skills were better. You know, I think he did well. I think he did quite well. You know, Anthony Joshua in the rematch with Andy Ruiz. You know, another example, Jermell Charlo. You know, when he lost to Harrison, you know, Harrison won, excuse me, by the skin of his teeth. That loss served Jermell Charlo. It fueled the fire, man. It definitely fueled the fire. And now it seems like Jermell Charlo is unstoppable. So that can be the case for Cecilia Braekhus. It can be the case, ladies and gentlemen. You see? Or it can be that what Mckaskill's saying is true too, though. And I believe hers to a certain extent. I reiterate that. I believe her to a certain extent. It can be that, you know, Cecilia is just kind of thinking, you know what, I'm going to rematch because Eddie Hearn is the rematch guy. And, okay, let me just make this clear real quick. I don't really know if there was a rematch clause in this fight since they fought the first time. Most likely there was, because Eddie Hearn does that. That's just what he does, okay? That's his way of doing things. People say that they shouldn't do that, you know, as far as the community. Other people say they should. Bob Arum doesn't believe in rematches. But the reason why I'm saying this, that you know, you can think what you want. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has different viewpoints. But that's just what Eddie Hearn does. When he has championship fighters who fight, you know, or defending their belts or what have you, it seems like he always puts rematch clauses, you know, in the fine print. So I'm assuming that's what happened here. Okay, there was a rematch clause. So the reason why I say this is because maybe Braekhus is thinking, you know what? I mean, I have to rematch because there's a clause. If I were to lose the first fight, you know what I'm saying? If I were to lose, then I have to rematch. So I mean, I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. I'm gonna train. Obviously, I'm not gonna be a slouch. Because Cecilia is not like that. She's not going to be, I'm not going to be a slouch. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm just kind of metaphorically speaking what is going on here. I'm not going to be a slouch. I'm going to go rematch Mckaskill, and I'm going to do what I got to do. Even if I lose, I'm just going to retire now. I'm at the end of my career. It can be. And it can be, what Mckaskill's saying, that it shows that she's probably mentally out of the game. She's probably not 100. I'm not saying that, Braekhus is 100% out of it. No. She's just looking on to better things. Because remember, I reiterate, if you go back to the post-fight interview with Cecilia Braekhus, right after the loss, it seemed like she was really contemplating. She didn't know what she was going to do next, and she did allude to retiring. And it may be since that loss, she's probably just thinking ahead. She's probably thinking ahead, and she's probably doing this just because she has to, okay? Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, or, those who have been tuning into the premieres of the videos, man, you guys are awesome. If anybody knows, if anybody knows on the contrary, as far as, otherwise, as far as there wasn't a rematch clause, since the first fight, let me know that. Or those who tune in afterwards, let me know in the comment section, please. But from what I know, or from what I, speaking contextually with Eddie Hearn and how he does things, it seems like there was a rematch clause, right? So if that's the case, let me make this clear. If that's the case, Braekhus' mindset is probably that. She's probably like, you know what? There's a rematch clause in the contract. So, I can't go against that. So I got to do what I got to do. And just get this out the way and move on to other things in life. It's possible. So that can be that she's not 100% in the game. You see what I'm saying? It can be that her head is not 100% in this fight. Like I said, it's not like she's going to be a slouch or anything like that. No. But it can be. That's a big factor to consider there. You know what I'm saying? And that can affect... Let me get back to this. That can affect her performance. That can affect Braekhus' performance. You see what I'm trying to say? You see what I'm trying to say here? So we'll go back to the article, okay? Interesting things said here. So that's what Mckaskill said, okay? And if you go down here a little bit more, now Braekhus, okay, let's just get back here to the article and see what it says before what Braekhus says. It says, while Braekhus shows a passive and focused spirit in preparation, the woman from Chicago is showcasing enormous confidence in her words, okay? Having no doubt that she will win again and continue to be absolute welterweight champion. So it says here, on the other hand, okay, check this out. Braekhus felt the judges did not see the fight correctly the first time around. So personally, my humble opinion on that, man, is I think that the judges did judge well, okay? They judged fairly in that fight. You go back and watch the fight. Go back and watch the fight. Judge for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I know there's going to be a lot of differing opinions, but for the most part, I think that most of the community can, speaking objectively and speaking in a neutral fashion, I got to get that clear, unbiased, which this platform's about, you know what I'm saying? In an unbiased perspective, you go back and watch that fight. I think that Braekhus won well. She won fairly, okay? I'm sorry, Mckaskill, my fault. Mckaskill won fairly in that fight. Braekhus, she was trying to fight Mckaskill's fight. And, you know what I'm saying? Mckaskill came in and she was just landing a lot of shots, clean shots, hard shots. Cecilia was fighting back, but it seemed like to me, Cecilia wasn't the typical Cecilia, using the ring, you know what I'm saying? Boxing with defense, being smart, high IQ in the ring. She was trying to fight. She was trying to fight Mckaskill's fight. And that was to her detriment and loss, consequently. So when it comes to the judges and things like that, I don't think that was an issue there. So I don't really agree with, I don't agree with Braekhus on that point. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, here she's quoting here. I know I'm a better fighter than Jessica. Check this out, guys. I had a bit of a bad day, but I feel I did what I had to do to retain my belts. But I wasn't at home. I was on her home and she got the belts. Okay, so that, ladies and gentlemen, I just don't know. You see, this adds on to what Mckaskill was saying a moment ago about her head not in the game. You see what I'm saying? What Braekhus is saying here, it seems like it adds on to that statement and to what Mckaskill is saying. Because, when it comes to fighting on somebody else's turf, let's just go back a little bit. Errol Spence, when he fought Brooks, you know what I'm saying? Brooks, I don't remember, whatever. When he fought Kell, okay? he went over to his land and he took that belt. I think it was the IBF, if I'm not mistaken, welterweight champ belt. And Spence, I mean, he was on a, I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that was his first time fighting overseas, but he did very well, and the whole crowd was against him, against Spence. I mean, we've got to use logic here, most of the crowd at least. You know, the mindset of a champion, ladies and gentlemen, is you'll fight your opponent wherever and whenever. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people, and I understand why though, downplay other fighters. For example, Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, I give him his I have criticized him too. I mean, he's cheated before. I mean, there's nothing to take away from that. You know what I'm saying? Same with Canelo, same with Dillian White, same with Big Baby Miller, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on. Kovalev, if I'm not mistaken, recently tested positive. It's nonsense. I think it sucks, and I think it's horrible. And it's a big stain on your reputation. However, levels, you know, it wasn't the, you know, the levels didn't even, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't get into that stuff. I don't need to. It's because you test positive, point blank, period. And that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And more if you test positive twice, you know. And I have criticized that. I criticized that against Billy Joe Saunders too. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, please, I mean, we got to give Billy Joe Saunders his credit. When he fought Lemieux, if I'm not mistaken, he fought him in Canada, or it wasn't in his land, in his home turf. That's what I'm trying to say here. And he performed amazingly, okay? And I know it's debatable. If I'm not mistaken, around that time, that's where Billy Joe popped dirty, though. I don't recall exactly the time periods when Billy Joe popped dirty. I don't recall, but I think he was clean when he fought Billy Joe. I just don't remember, okay? You know, forgive me for that. I beg your pardon for that. But as far as that info. But what I'm trying to say here is that Billy Joe came, he came to the Americas, plural. I don't know if it was in the United States. I think it was in Canada. But he came, you know, you got many examples where, you know, UK fighters, you know, come to the United States or what have you, or vice versa. American fighters, Mexican fighters that go to the UK. What just happened recently with who was it? A Mexican guy that just fought. We did a post-fight reaction. I just forgot the names. Like I said, I'm not the best with names. I think it was Lada or Luna, something like that. Came and fought Warrington and beat him in the UK. You see what I'm saying? That could have been Gary Russell Jr., if I'm not mistaken, but he denied that fight because it wasn't according to his standards, monetarily speaking, or whatever, the purse. It could have been Gary Russell doing that, you know, coming and taking that win from against Warrington. But whatever. Mexican fighter comes from Mexico, goes to the UK, and beats him. You see, I mean, there are many examples. Why am I saying this? Because I don't think it's really a good, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think it's an excuse to say that, you know, I wasn't at home, I was on her home, and she got the belts. I just don't buy that, and I do it with all due respect. I say it with all due respect. I don't agree with her. I don't agree with Braekhus on that, because whether you're at home or not, you gotta fight and give it your best. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how you feel. You see, regardless of where you are and what country you're in, what did Muhammad Ali do? And Foreman, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. You go historically speaking, they fought, if I'm not mistaken, in Africa. You know, they were both not from Africa, or I don't know where they were born. I think they were born in the U.S. They're Americans, okay? Okay, fine. They were Americans. I'm gonna get that clear there. They went to Africa, in a completely different country, really far from home, and they gave an more amazing performance. So did Foreman. I'm not taking anything away from Foreman when he fought Ali. He was going in there and fighting with all his heart. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? You see what I'm saying? And Ali gave an impressive win in that night. You know, wonderful. Man, that crowd was going crazy. Wow. Amazing event. You know, hats off to Don King for that, or organizing that event. Wow. Okay? So I don't, you see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I just don't know. I really kind of do incline towards Mckaskill and what she's saying earlier and what she said in the context of this article, interview, whatever, in that interview, right? That I mean, it looks like Cecilia, to a certain extent, is showing weakness, ladies and gentlemen. That Braekhus is showing some weakness, and Mckaskill can detect it. She alluded to retirement, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but everything else that, you know, here, that Braekhus is saying, you know. I just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. This can affect, you know what I'm saying? This can affect Braekhus' performance, okay? Now, what I think is going to happen in this rematch, okay, stylistically speaking, okay, Braekhus is going to go in and she's going to fight smarter. She's not going to fight Mckaskill's fight. She's going to be more technical. She's going to use that IQ. She's going to use more footwork. She's going to use her defense. She's going to have her guard up. She's going to use more head movement. Things that she wasn't doing in the first fight. I think that she learned from the loss, and I think she's going to implement that more in the rematch. And to a lot of our surprise, ladies and gentlemen, I think that Mckaskill is going to do the same. I think that Mckaskill, she's going to mix up. Okay, this is how I think it's going to go out. I think Mckaskill's going to mix up her inside game plan that she did in the first fight, and that's just her typical style. That's Mckaskill's typical style. If I'm not mistaken, Mckaskill fought Taylor, Katie Taylor, some time ago. I think it was Taylor. I don't remember how many years ago, but it was a while ago, okay? And Taylor was boxing out Mckaskill. She boxed her out beautifully, and she won, if I remember correctly. Taylor won that fight. You see, Mckaskill has problems with technical fighters. And I think Cecilia is going to bring that against Mckaskill. And I think, though, on the contrary, to our surprise, I think that Mckaskill is going to do the same inside boxing, but she's going to mix it with more technical fighting also, technical boxing also. I think she's going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. If she doesn't, if Mckaskill just goes in doing what she did in the first fight, Cecilia is going to win. She may very well win by unanimous decision or what have you. Maybe split decision. But I think I lean towards more that Mckaskill's going to come in, do a little inside game, and also do some technical stuff. You know, what I mean that by technical stuff, moving her head, you know, bobbing and, you know, left and right, kind of like Mike Tyson, going on the inside like that, using her head movement, using defensive skills, even some footwork. I think she's going to mix it up. If she mixes it up like that, ladies and gentlemen, if Mckaskill mixes up her game plan like that, it's going to be a really close fight. It's going to be a really close fight. And if that happens, I think Mckaskill will win, possibly by a split decision. Okay? I'm very curious to see how this fight's going to go out and see how it goes out, how it plays out. And listen, please, I'm going to intertwine this with, I don't want to make this video too long, but it's going up there. It's fine. With Estrada, okay? Estrada, El Gallo versus Chocolatito. Gonzalez, okay? Gonzalez versus Estrada. I think that because El Gallo recently came out and said, you know, in an interview in Spanish, I don't remember which platform it was on, but he said he's going to be more intelligent against Chocolatito. So that's what's going to happen. And that's why and that's not only why, I've been saying this for a while. I got Estrada beating Chocolatito because Chocolatito's been through so many wars. You know, I think he's been through so many wars, and I don't think Chocolatito's the same anymore. He can fight, though. He can box, and he's just a wonderful fighter. But I think that's going to happen. Seems like this parallels in similarity to a certain extent. You know, this Braekhus versus Mckaskill fight with the Chocolatito and Estrada fight. Estrada's going to come in fighting more skilled. Estrada's going to come in this rematch against Chocolatito, against Gonzalez, you know, in a more skilled fashion, using his footwork, you know, using the jab, keeping Chocolatito at his distance, and executing certain combos in a smart fashion and jumping out the way with his movement with his footwork when Chocolatito wants to come in and go to the body. He's going to do it like that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm almost positive. I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see Estrada doing that. And I think we're going to see the same with Cecilia Braekhus doing that with Mckaskill. However, I think Mckaskill, that makes it different, that differentiates this matchup between Mckaskill and Braekhus. This is where it differentiates. I say it's parallel to a certain extent and similar with Estrada versus Chocolatito, but it differentiates in this fashion. That I think Mckaskill, she's gonna, I repeat, she's gonna go in on the inside and she's gonna mix it up also with high IQ, using other tools in the ring, to the world's surprise. Because I reiterate, I mean, if Mckaskill doesn't do that, and if she fights the way she did the first fight, it's gonna be hard for her to win. But hey, anything can happen. She probably will do that, and she'll probably knock out Cecilia. I doubt it though. But it's a possibility, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot, you know, negate that factor. If Mckaskill goes in fighting like she did the first fight, but more aggressively, cutting the ring off, wearing Cecilia down, which is a possibility. She was doing it the first fight, but that was to Cecilia's fault because she was fighting Mckaskill's fight. You see what I'm saying? But if Mckaskill comes in the rematch doing that, using aggressiveness, you know what I'm saying? Cutting off the ring more and just pressuring and wearing down Braekhus, Mckaskill could knock out Cecilia. You know what I'm saying? Mckaskill could knock out Braekhus. So, I mean, interesting stuff what they're saying. It's hard for me to predict this, man. It's really hard. It's hard for me to predict this fight. That's how good of a fight it is. You see what I'm saying? How this fight needs to be promoted more? Women's pro boxing needs to be promoted more. Chocolatito versus Estrada needs to be promoted more amongst the community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are great matchups. You know, oh my gosh, what can I predict? I mean, I just kind of explained it and broke down what the outcomes may be. But as far as a prediction, like a final prediction, I got Mckaskill winning, okay? I'm just gonna put it out. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I got Mckaskill winning, possibly by split, more likely by split decision, but possibly by knockout too. But as I reiterate, please listen. If Cecilia does what I've been saying in this video, she'll win. She'll most likely win. So it's just hard to call. But I got Mckaskill winning this fight. I got Mckaskill winning this fight. And if Mckaskill wins, I think Cecilia's gonna, you know, hang up the gloves. And I reiterate, please, hats off to Braekhus. If she does retire, she can retire with her head up high, ride off in the wind, and do other amazing things in her life. You know what I'm saying? Hats off to these fighters, warriors. So man, beautiful stuff. Can't wait. Comment in the comment sections. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. What do you think? Please comment in the comment section. What do you think about this fight? What the outcome's going to be? You know, share, like, subscribe, new listeners. I reiterate one more time, Renee Box Young is a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and talk about the sport of boxing in a mature, level-headed fashion. Take date somewhere else. You know how we do it here, man. We're doing new things in Renee Box Young. New things, and it's all for you. It's all for you, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? So we can go to a place. You know, we can go to a platform, a sound platform, you know, which is music to your ears. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have to hear a bunch of hate, a bunch of nonsense, crazy things going out there, you know, in the community. We ain't got time for that. You can grow off of this. You know, it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's good for each and every one of you. You know what I'm saying? For your kids. That's what I'm talking about, man. Renee Box Young, thanks so much. Go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. Peace out, fam. Stay safe.